At the baby shower, my wife laughed when her friends teased her. He doesn't know what we're hiding from him. Then my daughter took me aside, showed me one photo on her phone, and within an hour her whole world fell apart. I never thought I'd be the guy posting here, but after what happened, I need to let it out somewhere. Maybe it'll help me make sense of everything. Maybe it'll help someone else not miss the signs I did. I've been married to Laura for 12 years. We built a good life, or so I thought. Our daughter, Anna, is 15 now, and she's the light of my life. Laura and I met young, built everything from scratch together, careers, a home, a family. She was my best friend, my partner. I never imagined she'd be anything else. A few weeks ago, Laura's friend group threw a baby shower for one of their own. Laura begged me to come, said it would mean a lot to her if I showed my face, even if I was the only man there. So, I went. It was hosted at this fancy little event space downtown. Baby blue and white balloons, a mommy-to-be banner, cute little finger foods. Everyone was laughing and smiling, and for a while, it actually felt good. But then, I started noticing things. The women, Laura included, kept sharing these little glances and inside jokes whenever I came near. When I brought her a drink, one of her friends, Melissa, joked loudly, "Careful, girl, he doesn't know what we're hiding from him." Everyone burst out laughing, even Laura. She laughed too hard. Way too hard. Then she gave me this weird look, like a mix of guilt and arrogance, and brushed it off with a quick kiss on my cheek. Something twisted in my gut. You know that feeling when the air in a room changes? When you know instinctively that you're the joke, even if no one says it outright. I felt it. Hard. Still, I smiled and played along. I figured, hell, maybe it's just dumb girl talk. Maybe I was overthinking it. The party went on. They opened gifts, played some silly games, passed around a scrapbook for guests to write blessings for the baby. Laura was glowing, charming as ever, bouncing between groups of friends. But every time she looked my way, there was this flicker in her eyes, like she was sizing me up, measuring how much I knew. And that's when Anna came up to me. My daughter. My sweet, perceptive, too smart for her own good daughter. She tugged on my sleeve and whispered, "Dad, can I show you something?" Outside. Confused, I followed her out to the little courtyard behind the building. Anna looked scared. Torn. She kept checking over her shoulder like she was worried someone would see us. Then, with shaking hands, she pulled out her phone and showed me a picture. One photo. It was Laura, my wife, sitting on a man's lap at a bar, not just sitting grinding on him, laughing into his neck while he grabbed her waist like he owned her. They weren't trying to hide. His hand was halfway up her skirt. Her wedding ring was visible on her hand, holding his shoulder for balance. I swear my heart stopped beating for a second. I stared at it, willing it to be some sort of mistake, a Photoshop, a joke. But no, it was her. Same dress she wore on a girls' night out last weekend. Same smile she used to save for me. And the timestamp? It was just 3 nights ago. Anna was crying now. I found it on Snapchat, Dad. They posted it by accident. It was supposed to be private. I couldn't speak. Couldn't even breathe. My brain short-circuited trying to process what I was seeing. All I could feel was this cold, hollow, leaden weight settle in my chest. Anna kept apologizing like she did something wrong. I just pulled her into a hug and told her she did the right thing. She clung to me like she was drowning. Meanwhile, inside, my wife was laughing and smiling with her friends, all of whom apparently knew. Every single one of them. In that moment, standing there with my daughter's little arms wrapped around me, I realized something. I wasn't just betrayed by Laura. I was mocked. They were all in on it. And the worst part? It wasn't over yet. Because I knew, right then and there, I was about to burn the whole illusion down. I must have stood there for a full minute, clutching Anna to my chest, staring out at nothing. My whole body was vibrating, a sick cocktail of rage, heartbreak, and betrayal pumping through my veins like jet fuel. But there was no scene. Not yet. I pulled back from Anna and forced a smile onto my face. I wiped her tears and said, "Go inside, sweetheart. Sit with Grandma. I'll take care of this." She looked at me like she knew exactly what I meant. She didn't argue. She just nodded, turned, and disappeared back through the doors. I took a deep breath. Walked inside. The baby shower was in full swing, oblivious. Music playing. People laughing. Laura was across the room, surrounded by a flock of women, glass of white wine in hand, pretending to be the perfect wife and mother. I made a beeline for her. When she saw me coming, her smile faltered for just a second. Just long enough for me to know she knew exactly what was coming. She recovered quickly, pasted on that fake laugh again, and tried to act like nothing was wrong. Too late. I didn't shout. I didn't cause a scene, not yet. I just walked right up to her, slid my phone out of my pocket, and calmly held it up so she could see the photo Anna had shown me. The color drained from her face. Gone was the charming hostess. In her place was a deer caught in headlights. For a long, frozen moment, neither of us said a word. Then she actually tried to laugh it off. "Oh my God, Brian, are you serious? It's just a joke. We were just messing around." My voice was low, deadly calm. "Is that why his hand is halfway up your skirt?" The women around her shifted uncomfortably. A couple of them even had the decency to look guilty. But not Laura. "Oh no." She doubled down. "You're overreacting," she hissed under her breath, yanking me by the arm toward the back hallway, away from prying ears. "Don't embarrass me here." I wrenched my arm free. "Embarrass you?" "Laura, you embarrassed yourself the second you decided to grind on some random guy like a drunk teenager. In public." She crossed her arms, her face twisting into that ugly, defensive sneer I hadn't seen before but instantly recognized, the true her. "It's not like I slept with him," she snapped. "It was just flirting." "God, you're so uptight. Maybe if you actually paid attention to me once in a while." That broke something inside me. I saw red. 12 years of loyalty. 12 years of sacrifices, long hours, missed vacations, working overtime to give her the house, the car, the goddamn lifestyle she paraded around like a trophy. And this was what I got. I stepped back from her, hands shaking not from fear but from restraint. "You disgust me," I said quietly. "Stay the hell away from me. Stay away from Anna. We're done." Her mask cracked then. For the first time, she looked scared. "Brian, wait, please. It was nothing. We can talk about this. Don't throw everything away over one stupid mistake." A mistake. That's all it was to her. No, I thought. It wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. Every giggle, every touch, every betrayal was a choice. I didn't say another word. I just turned and walked away, leaving her standing there, her perfect party falling apart around her. As I pushed open the front door, I heard the murmurs starting, the awkward silences spreading. Good. Let them talk. Let the whole world know what she really was. I found Anna sitting on the steps outside, hugging her knees to her chest. When she saw my face, she didn't ask any questions. She just stood up and slipped her hand into mine. Together, we walked away from the wreckage. Together, we started to plan what came next. That night was the longest of my life. After we left the baby shower, Anna and I went to a diner. One of those sad little 24-hour places that always smell like burnt coffee and frozen pancakes. We sat in a corner booth. She picked at her food. I didn't touch mine at all. I just sat there, staring at nothing, feeling like I was watching my own life from the outside. How do you process the moment you realize your whole marriage was a lie? Laura, my wife, my best friend, the woman I trusted with everything, my soul, my future, our child, had chosen to humiliate me. In public, in front of friends, with strangers. And she had the audacity to act like I was the one ruining things because I wouldn't play along. The anger wasn't even white-hot anymore. It was black, cold, heavy. I felt hollow, like there was a giant pit inside me where love used to be. Anna sat across from me, quietly watching. Every so often, she wiped her eyes with the sleeve of her sweatshirt. It broke my heart. She was just a kid. She shouldn't have to carry this. She shouldn't have had to be the one to show me the truth. Finally, I spoke. "Sweetheart," I said, "you didn't do anything wrong. You were brave. You protected me." She nodded, but her mouth trembled. I didn't know what else to do. I thought, maybe you already knew. "I didn't want to hurt you, Dad." "You didn't," I thought. She did. I pulled my phone out right there and then. I messaged my lawyer. Midnight or not, I didn't care. I typed 4 words. File for divorce. Immediately. I wasn't going to be that guy. The one who begged, who pleaded, who let himself be gaslit and degraded into staying with someone who spat on everything we built. I didn't want explanations. I didn't want apologies. I wanted out. The rest of the night blurred. I dropped Anna off at my sister's place, somewhere safe, somewhere away from the screaming match I knew was coming. I didn't even go home. I couldn't face her. Not yet. Instead, I drove. Miles and miles, around the city, through dead-silent suburbs, past flickering gas station signs and shuttered storefronts. Every street I drove down felt like another version of the life I thought I had, safe, normal, predictable, now revealed as a total lie. At about 3 a.m., I finally parked by the river, got out, stood there in the freezing air, just breathing. That was when it hit me. I didn't just lose Laura. I lost my home, my family, my future. The dreams we built together, the trips we planned, the retirement house by the lake, the grandkids we joked about, all of it was dead, murdered by her choices. And she didn't even have the decency to be ashamed. I thought about everything. The way she laughed too loudly at that asshole's jokes. The way her friends circled around her like vultures, keeping the secret. The way she tried to flip it back on me like I was the crazy one for being hurt. No, no more. I stood there until the sun came up, watched the river turn from black to gray to gold. And I made a vow. I would not let her break me. I would not let her twist this around, pretend this was somehow mutual, that we drifted apart, or any of that bullshit. No, I was going to tell the truth. And she was going to feel it. Every consequence. Every ounce of shame. Every bit of the life she burned down. I pulled my phone from my pocket again and started making a list, cold, methodical, focused, of everything I would need to do to blow her little world apart. This wasn't just survival. It was war. When I finally got back to the house that morning, the sun was glaring through the windows, making everything look too clean, too normal. It almost tricked me for a second, like maybe none of it had happened. But then I walked through the door and saw Laura sitting there at the kitchen table, looking like she hadn't slept either. Her makeup from the night before was smeared, her eyes bloodshot. She opened her mouth to say something, maybe some tired excuse, maybe some lie about working through it. But I just held up my hand. Don't, I said. Don't insult both of us. She shrank back like I'd hit her. Good. Let her feel a fraction of what she put me through. I didn't sit down. I didn't take my coat off. I just stared at her, and in that silence, I saw it. The real her. Not the smiling wife. Not the charming hostess. Just a scared, selfish woman who thought she could play me like a fool and get away with it. Not today. I'm filing for divorce, I said, my voice even. And you're moving out. She gasped. What? Brian, come on. We can talk about this. It was one stupid mistake. No, I cut her off. It wasn't a mistake. It was a decision. When you made every time you lied to me. Every time you laughed at me with your friends. Every time you touched him. Her mouth opened and closed, no words coming out. I know everything, Laura, I said, stepping closer. And when the papers are filed, everyone else will too. That's when the mask dropped. The sadness vanished. And what came out instead? Rage. You're such a controlling asshole, she snapped. No wonder I wanted some fun for once. Maybe if you weren't so boring. I smiled. It must have scared her because she flinched. Thank you for confirming who you really are, I said. Now, get out of my house. I didn't just kick her out, though. I was smarter than that. First, I called a locksmith and had the locks changed that afternoon while she screamed and cried and threw threats at me over text. Then, I gathered every piece of evidence. The photo Anna had shown me. Screenshots from Laura's social media. Messages she didn't realize were still in the cloud. I wanted it documented. Bulletproof. Next, I met with my lawyer, a no-nonsense woman named Denise who didn't flinch when I laid it all out for her. She laid out the battle plan. Immediate separation order. Petition for full custody of Anna, since Laura's judgment was clearly compromised. A carefully crafted public statement for family and close friends, making sure the truth came out before Laura could spin her version. I wasn't going to play defense. I was going to control the narrative. By the time Laura realized what was happening, it was already too late. The papers were served at her sister's place, a calculated move, where all her family could watch her open the envelope and see exactly what she was, a liar and a cheater. Her phone calls changed tone after that. No more angry rants. Now it was sobbing voicemails about how she didn't mean to hurt me, and could we just talk, and maybe counseling would help. I didn't answer a single one. Meanwhile, I talked to Anna every day. We made plans. She was old enough to choose who she wanted to live with, and she chose me. Without hesitation. She even asked if we could move somewhere fresh, somewhere far from the gossip and the whispers. I promised her we would. There was one final thing to do, the thing that would ensure Laura couldn't paint herself as the victim. I planned a confrontation. A public one. Not to scream. Not to fight. To show everyone, including herself, that she didn't deserve an ounce of pity. It was time she faced the ruin she created. On my terms. 2 weeks later, everything was set. I found the perfect opportunity. Laura's cousin was hosting a casual family barbecue at their house, a big open backyard gathering, everyone from her side and mine invited, lots of kids running around, burgers on the grill, drinks flowing. Laura was supposed to show up too. I made sure of it. I even played civil when her cousin called, asking if I'd still come. Wouldn't miss it, I said, keeping my voice even. I showed up early with Anna. We were greeted with hugs and smiles, like nothing had happened. Like no one knew yet. Because Laura hadn't had the guts to tell them. Good. That made what came next even more devastating. Laura arrived an hour later, wearing a short sundress and sunglasses, trying her best to look carefree and innocent. I watched her from the corner of the yard, watched her smile and laugh and hug her aunts and make small talk with her cousins like she wasn't a human dumpster fire waiting to ignite. I waited until the party was in full swing. Everyone had plates of food. Kids were screaming and laughing. Adults were buzzed, relaxed. Then I stood up, walked to the center of the yard, and clinked my glass with a fork. Heads turned. Conversation slowed. Laura froze, her face already whitening. "Hey everyone," I said loudly, smiling like I was just offering a toast. "I just wanted to say a quick thank you for being here. It's been a rough few weeks for Anna and me." A ripple of confusion spread through the crowd. I figured since there have been some rumors, I continued, my tone calm and almost friendly, it'd be better if you heard the truth straight from me. Laura opened her mouth, but I raised a hand, cutting her off without even looking at her. "Laura and I are getting divorced," I said, because she decided she'd rather grind on strange men at bars than be a wife and mother. Gasps. Real gasps. Plates clattered to the ground. Someone dropped a beer. "Oh, but don't worry," I added, raising my glass. "She says it was just a little harmless flirting." Some of the women, her aunts, her mother, looked absolutely horrified. A few of the guys snickered. One of her cousins straight up muttered, "What a piece of work." Laura finally found her voice. "Brian. Jesus. Stop it. This isn't the place," she snapped, her face flushed and twisted with fury. "You're right," I said. "The place was the bar, where you wrapped yourself around some stranger like a cheap prom date." Dead silence now. Only the crackle of the grill in the background. Laura started to cry big, dramatic sobs. But nobody rushed to her side. No one hugged her. No one told me to stop. They just watched. Because deep down, everyone recognized what she really was. She tried one last play, turned to the crowd, gesturing wildly at me. "He's making it sound worse than it was. I was drunk. It didn't mean anything." I laughed. "You're right. It didn't mean anything. Neither did our marriage, apparently." I turned to Anna, who was standing near the porch with my sister. "Come on, sweetheart. We're done here." As I walked past Laura, she grabbed my arm. "Please," she whispered desperately, her nails digging into my jacket. "Don't do this. Not here. Please." I leaned in, just close enough for only her to hear. "You made this bed. Now lie in it." Then I walked away without looking back. Anna slipped her hand into mine again, just like she had that night at the baby shower. And together, again, we left her behind. The fallout came fast and brutal. By the time I got home that evening, my phone was blowing up. Not from Laura. She'd finally stopped trying to reach me, but from family, friends, even old neighbors who somehow heard about the incident at the barbecue. Word traveled fast. It turned out, Laura's little circle of loyal friends wasn't so loyal after all. The same women who cackled behind my back at the baby shower? Half of them were now spilling her secrets like broken faucets. Apparently, the guy from the bar wasn't a random stranger. No, it was worse. He was a personal trainer from her gym, married himself, with 3 kids. They'd been seeing each other for months. Meeting up during girls' nights, sneaking around on weekends when she claimed to be visiting her mother, constantly. One of her friends, sick with guilt, or maybe just desperate to save face, sent me screenshots of everything. Texts, photos, even a video of them making out in the back seat of his car like horny teenagers. The lies ran so deep it made my head spin. And the best part? His wife found out too. The trainer's life blew up within 48 hours. His wife kicked him out, filed for divorce, and made sure everyone at the gym, including all of his clients, knew what kind of man he really was. Meanwhile, Laura lost everything. Her family was livid. Her parents stopped speaking to her after the barbecue, too embarrassed by the public humiliation she brought down on them. Her job? She had to take a leave of absence for personal reasons once coworkers started whispering about her party tricks. Even her so-called friends distanced themselves. Funny how quickly loyalty evaporates when there's blood in the water. She tried to spin it, of course. Tried to post some half-assed Facebook update about taking time for self-care and healing from a difficult breakup. Tried to blame me. Claimed I was emotionally unavailable and too focused on work. But nobody bought it. Not after the screenshots started circulating. Not after the truth started shining through every carefully curated lie. She went from admired to pitted, to despised. In just a few short weeks. Meanwhile, Anna and we moved fast. I transferred her to a new school, a clean slate, where no one knew her mother's name. I sold the house. Didn't even let Laura step foot in it again. Bought a small place a few towns over, modest, cozy, just for the two of us. It wasn't easy. Christ, it was brutal some days. Watching Anna struggle with the betrayal. Watching myself in the mirror, trying to stitch together the man I used to be. I spent a lot of sleepless nights wondering how I missed the signs. How I let her fool me for so long. But eventually, the shame started to fade. And what replaced it wasn't rage. It was clarity. Laura didn't betray me because I lacked something. She betrayed me because she lacked everything that mattered. Honor, loyalty, gratitude, love. That wasn't a reflection of me. That was a reflection of her. And once I saw that, once I really understood it in my bones, the healing began.